Hi, you guys. So I just wanted to come and talk about this Brooklyn train shooting that took place yesterday. Um, so I don't know. The whole story just was. It's like I don't know. It's a lot going on, right? Because if you guys remember, not what was that like a week ago? Maybe less than a week ago. Well, yeah, maybe less than a week ago. There was they're saying it was gang related, but there were a lot of bystanders, people who were just getting shot. They were just there minding their own business in Sacramento. And, they came back with this story that two brothers were caught. And then there was a third individual. I was going to make a video about that, but because I'm just having so many issues of getting my videos together, I haven't been able to touch on a lot of things, but because the media then came back and one of the brothers, they tried to say that he was a rapper, right? And I've said this before about how it's interesting how everyone is a rapper. Every time something you look up, everything that's happening, everybody's a rapper. And he was on YouTube as well, one of the brothers. I know one of the brothers named Smiley. I can't remember the other brother's name. I think Smiley was the one who had the record. His They both have records, but his record was a little more violent than his brother's record. And they were the media and some politicians, I guess, there in California were questioning why he was released in the first place. And you guys remember doing COVID with the whole COVID thing with the jails, and they were saying they were trying to release people that they were claiming they were releasing people who didn't have certain backgrounds and people that they probably should keep. But it sounds like they were also releasing some people they probably should have keep because this wasn't the only story that was coming up like that. There were people in other cities who had been arrested and released early or whatever they were saying. It's been a couple of stories out here like that within the last year. So I'll just say that. And it turns out they probably should not have been released in the first place. Like the brother, Smiley, he should have been staying in jail till his court date, and then his sentencing, because he was more than likely going to get sentenced for whatever he was going to court for. I think it was domestic violence or beating some woman up, and then the whole just it was a bunch of stuff that went along, and I know it was some violence involved with it as well, and trying to traffic a young girl and beating her up in a hotel or whatever. And so it just sounded like a bunch of stuff. And it was some other stuff, like I said, on his in his background. They should have just said he was probably problematic, and to society, and that he should have just stayed in until he went to court. Um, and I was going to do a video on that because it's something about people keep calling all these people rappers and somehow trying to tie them into rap music, and then you don't really hear anybody say anything about it, right? Because I guess there's no real gatekeepers. There's people that's faking and shaking like they care about it, the culture, or the music, but they really don't if there's no money involved in it for them. So it's just that whole thing. Because I'm like, why they keep calling all these people rappers? And just because he had a YouTube page as well, just like Mr. James has a YouTube page, and I'm getting ready to get into that. But he was not getting clicks like that. His music page wasn't getting clicks like where they should be classifying this guy as a rapper. Like I could start create a page and just start rapping on there. That doesn't make me a rapper, right? And I think that it's what they are trying to define hip hop and rap as for me, and that's kind of where I went in my conversation and go. But it's neither here nor there. I guess because I'm talking about it right now. But that's the two guys who just had that shooting in Sacramento. It was more than two people; it was three, and then they were saying that they were shooting against a opposite gang. But then all these people were shot in the process, and yeah. So this guy from the Brooklyn shooting, and I don't really know, and it's kind of hard to say where he lived. And I'm noticing that from his YouTube page. His YouTube page is called Prophet of Truth 88. Um, and what people are seeing, because yesterday he only had like 1,200, somewhere in there, 1,200 subscribers, and now it's close to 4,000. And that's because people are thinking, because they still haven't caught him, they're thinking that maybe he will appear, I guess, on YouTube, go live. I think that he might have a little bit more sense than that, than to go live. I think we all understand that people are pulling our locations and they know where we are. We're on these platforms. When you're on the internet, period, you're not, there's no such thing as privacy. I think we all get that and understand that. And if you don't, you should. But anyway, so I don't know. I guess I'm not going to subscribe to his page. I think that's weird. That's just my opinion. But I think people are thinking that maybe he's going to go live and maybe they just want to see if he's going to actually do that. But his last video was posted on the 11th, the day before, I guess. Maybe he was in, oh yeah, because he was driving. So, and it looks like he was staying in hotels and stuff. So that's a part of probably why they can't find him, because they really can't place him anywhere concrete. Like they're talking about older addresses for him. But if you watch I was watching some of his videos last night. He definitely is moving around because he's like critiquing the hotels and stuff that he's staying in some of these videos. And so that kind of lets you know that he's moving around, that he doesn't have a permanent address. And that's kind of some of the conversation as well that he's having is about mental health, people on disability in this country, how they're, I guess, veterans. And, every rare moon we hear these conversations come up. And I was just talking about this to somebody that's close to me as well, that like cities like states like Florida, where else, California, I guess New York, you hear all these stories about all these mass shootings and places that you're hearing all these. I know we're hearing it sometimes in smaller towns, with the school shootings and all that stuff as well. But I'm talking about now that we're starting to see this kind of keep happening. Um, Oftentimes it's in a state where people are not handling the conversation around homeless issues, and that's kind of true. I mean, I was kind of just saying that as well. I think that it is a mental illness issue with some of this stuff. And also something that I've also said before, you guys can go back over my videos and you will hear me saying it, that these black men here on YouTube, and I know it sounds like I'm focused in on it, and it's not just them. It's a lot of people on YouTube that's saying a lot of creepy stuff. Okay. But because I am black, I am going to gravitate more to people who look like me. And so I have noticed that this is not regular passion for topics. Some of this stuff, um, like the guy who kind of called me out about being in his comments, he kind of really creeped me out. Like I was really, and I'm just gonna go on and be honest about that. That's why I have never been back to his page, because I'm not trying to incite none of these folks. Okay, come looking for your girl. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm not trying to incite nobody, honey. You can believe and think and run it how you want to run it, say it how you mean it, and all of that on right where you are. But the level of anger, like, and I've said this time and time again in these videos, the level of anger that some of these people have towards people they don't know, like, it's very weird. Like people stalking people and doing all this stuff, and you don't even know these people. Like these people don't know each other. Like and the level of anger and a lot of these guys have on here, and some of them are big YouTubers as well. And I said what I said on that, and we can wait and see how that rolls out. But some of these people are making money. He wasn't making money on YouTube. Like I said, he had slight amount of subs. He has more subs now, obviously, because the situation took place yesterday. And I'm speaking to Frank James, Prophet of Truth. That's his YouTube page. But he didn't have that many subs before that, and he was getting hundreds of views, but um, he wasn't making that type of money, and he wasn't going live all the time. He was going live on certain topics, and I thought it was interesting. And he had a video about Hassan Campbell, and then he also has a video about Nature Boy. He talks about Nature Boy a couple of times, and then he talked about I guess follows Hassan. I thought it was pretty interesting the stuff he was saying about Hassan, and I'm not going to get into this because this is not about Hassan. Um, I wanted to play a little bit of what he was saying so you guys can see it. I'm not going to put the video up of him talking. You guys can go over to his page if you want to see all of that, like everybody else is running over there. But you can definitely hear, sorry, like I said, some of this anger, this is not passion, like regular passion that you have for the arts, or for politics, or for green, keeping the air clean, and certain other things, right? Certain other topics, or people having passion about sports, and even some of these topics, you can see the extremist in some of that as well. Sometimes you can hear it, but you can hear when people just get really upset and they're really angry, and they talking about hurting people, and threatening to hurt people, and doing all this doxing, and just going beyond and beyond. Um, just To me, and I've said this already. When you guys go back up, when I was talking about that Black Manosphere, some of these guys, some of this energy is not for play. Like, they're not pretending. They're not just doing this for the gram. They're not just doing this for the tube. They're very, very serious about some of these things that they're saying, some of this hate towards women, in particular Black women. Some of this stuff is not just for entertainment value. And then some people could try to pass it off like it's just for entertainment value. But some of this stuff is not. Some of these people are dead serious about the stuff that they're saying. And people really should be taking it serious. Like I've said before, and I don't know with YouTube and Facebook, because a lot of this stuff happens on Facebook as well. People going live harming people and harming themselves and doing all kind of stuff. I don't really know what these platforms really can do about it, but it's a real issue, and it's something that they really should address. I thought YouTube sent us like a letter or notice that they're going to start dealing with these bullying complaints a little bit different than the way they've been dealing with it in the past. And that's why I was saying Tommy Sotomayor, this is not a breeding ground for him anymore, because you can't sit here and call women all these names, in particular Black women, call them all these different, just saying all this stuff that sounds like you really might harm somebody. Right? It really gives off the feels of that. The stuff is not funny. Like I've said before, it's not funny, and it's not healthy that you even feel these ways. You're trying to place the blame of, you're claiming one person that you may have encountered, or maybe several, but you don't know all Black women. You don't know all women to have these outlooks on them like that. And that should be common sense, because you don't want all Black men to be viewed a certain way. Now, how many times will they come jumping on these platforms to say that, right? And so why would that not then fit for everyone else? Why, all white people are not the same. I think we understand that. All Latin people are not the same. I think we should all understand. All Black people are not the same. I think we should all understand that. And so when these people are talking and they're speaking as if, oh, well, they're all doing this. They're all pregnant. They all looking for looking for this and looking for that. And, you can't say these things, right? And then you don't even have anything to back up any of the stuff that you're saying. And this is what people have been trying to say for a while. And then I think guys like this, they kind of get lost in that shuffle, because people start thinking, oh, well, this is just that whole thing that these Black guys just got going on YouTube. And then it's something a little bit more than that really should have been looked into. But I'm going to let you guys listen to, this is a video from March 27th, but he put a video up on the 11th that's really just filled with derogatory language, and I just don't want to go to that deep. This one is deep enough. But this one is from the 27th. But yeah, he has a video up that he had just put up on the 11th. And then I think I have it here in the video that I put together of images of him and some of the headlines. On his banner, it says too late, right? So there was a lot of signs going on here on this man's page, unfortunately. Um, I don't know with YouTube, and I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming anyone. I don't know what these platforms can do. They may have to create some type of team within their company to start kind of policing a little better who's on these pages and start knocking some of these pages off. Right, that's kind of not falling in line with they claim that they stand for. Because some of these people do not fall in line with, and I don't. I think that he was monetized. However, he was not making money on his channel, because just because you're monetized do not mean that you're going to get the clicks and the views. And it's the way you have to, it's like I said, it takes a lot of work for these channels for you to just start generating money on these channels. And if you really don't have the time like that, you're not going to do it. But he was coming on YouTube giving his opinion about world issues, um, social issues, things that he has. Some of the stuff he probably has a right to talk about because he's living it, like he is saying. But yeah, there's a point when you can hear when these people are going somewhere else, and you can see people saying that in his comments and stuff as well. But I'm gonna let you guys listen and let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. I think I'm gonna end it on that. But yeah, he was a YouTuber, but so was that other guy in Sacramento. He has a YouTube page as well. Like I was saying. Um, and so, yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on out here. It's a lot of stuff, and the stuff is not funny. It's not. People should expect it to act with a certain level of decency. Just because you have a right to say whatever you want to say, do not mean you should be out here doing it. Okay. Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comments. To my understanding, no one was hurt. I mean, there's no casualties. People were hurt, but there were no deaths. So that's a blessing. In that whole situation. I can't I don't recall, he was saying so much stuff in that video. I don't really know why he picked um New York. I know recently the mayor there, the new mayor, addressed homelessness and wanting to address it. And a lot of people are saying they feel like maybe that's what triggered the conversation, because obviously this is something that he was living, and he didn't really feel like he was getting the support, um, you know, that he need, medical assistance, housing, things of this nature. And it is a lot of that. And then it's definitely a lot of stuff, because I mean, that man who just threw the feces in that lady's face, that just happened in New York, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So there is clearly a real issue. And then the guy who pushed the lady off, pushed her in front of that train, I think that happened at the beginning of the year. So like I said, you hear all this stuff coming out of Florida, right? You hear all this stuff constantly coming out of California. So it's something that's not getting addressed. And maybe it's time for people to start pushing a little bit on these politicians to do something about this, because if we have money, like Tupac said, we got money for wars, we should definitely have money for the poor. Okay, we should, if we got money to spend and to keep all these guns and all this other stuff coming here, we should have money to make sure that these people, especially in these drastic weather states, they should be housed. They this Some of this stuff shouldn't go on like it's going on in this country, and it's a real issue, and people probably need to address it. And like Dr. King said, anything that affects one of us eventually is going to affect all of us, right? Because then we become the bystanders that's just trying to go to work every day, and now somebody getting on the train that you're on, or on the freeway doing something, you know to that none of us set out to deal with, to our loved ones, and so, or to us. And so it is a real issue that really needs to get addressed in these places where they definitely have the larger populations of it. Um, as an issue, because a lot of these people that are attacking people and they're calling them hate crimes and stuff, a lot of that is probably mental health as well. And I was just having, like I said, a conversation with someone close to me about that. A lot of this stuff that people are passing off as hate crimes and passing, a lot of that stuff is probably mental illness as well. When you see these people going to court and stuff, you kind of see it. But I'm gonna play what he had to say. Let me know what you guys think about this story. And if you've been watching my videos, you know that I've been saying that some of these black men on here give some real serious energy. And I think that these platforms really need to start really addressing this stuff and taking it serious. But let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys in the next video, but I'm going to play him right now.
Well, and again, that's what farm animals, white, black, doesn't matter. We're supposed to focus in on each other. We're supposed to kill and destroy, hate each other. Not the motherfucker that is going to take us to the slaughter like they did on the morning of 9/11. Not them. The slaughter like they did on the morning of 9/11. As I stood, and as a matter of fact, they mentioned that was right down at the World Trade Center. And I looked right up at that building that replaced the World Trade Center. It's an amazing sight. It really is. But again, that's a and it's something that will stand the test of time. You can find playing that, they ain't across the time. It's amazing over 21 years that no other terrorists decided to take a plane and try to crash in any other buildings over in fucking Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, anywhere, but here in the United States. So when I hear this man express like, please, man, tell me how you feel. I want to hear how you feel about me. What you think about me? Silly fucking bitch, you useless whore. I'm about to be dead. You still have no future. Wait, on what planet? You don't. Don't you want to attack me and make me feel bad about what? I don't feel bad about. I know where I'm at. I know exactly where I'm at. I know exactly what I'm doing.